Hi everybody, my name is Shobee Jacelon and here I am in my living room talking to you with my two dogs, Soleil and Chico. I don't know if you could see them, but just a little background on myself. Right now I am very fortunate. I have three kids who are already in university, so I do not have the problems that most parents have in running around trying to get their kids organized. My kids are organized and I'm really thankful to God for that. Have been quite a background on me. Started off coming to Trinidad with at the age of 3.5. My parents were from India, and my dad was quite an entrepreneur. Came all the way from Punjab and got into prospecting in all kinds of interesting businesses with his uncles, and into gold and silver jewelry in Guyana originally, and then got into a lot of trade businesses in the islands. Settled in Trinidad and got to Trinidad in 1960. Lived in India as a little child for about 3.5 years. Got here and got into the Trinidad culture, and my parents were about assimilating into the Trinidad culture. So got to the traditional schools, Bishop Mansi High School, very good school. And after Bishops went on to study in Canada, did a couple of degrees there, geography and then a master's in information science and technology. Came back to Trinidad, was determined to be a Trini and did not want to stay overseas and wanted to be part of the Trini culture. Wanted to impact in some way into this country, and my first job was interesting. I got involved at an interview at the central bank and never passed the interview, but it was quite an interesting experience in that it was my first interview and I was young and really quite eager and to get involved in the business in this country. Didn't do too well and ended up with my first job at Caridi. 8 years in the information division. Had a great time because I was really gung-ho and interested in getting involved in customer service, feeding customers technical information. Basically, we had a lot of clients out of business industry research. Enjoyed that tremendously. Went on to have 3 kids in 5 years. Got married to Shobee Jacelon, who was very, very prominent in Trinidad as a Minister of Finance and Health. Not health, sorry, planning. And with that experience of 5 years, worked. I was always at his side. We were quite known because as being a minister of government, and Tony was also very much involved in a number of boards. So that was quite a whirlwind experience. Grew up with the 3 kids and was very privileged to be able to allow them to participate in a number of activities. And I think today my kids have a lot of talent because of that exposure. They were in language, in arts and crafts, in sport. So that I ended up with 3 children, all scholarship winners, made a mark in the world. My middle son was ranked in the world in 3 subjects actually, and is now doing his PhD in classical in mathematics. My eldest and my youngest are doing law, and they're almost finished, both scholarship winners. And Shivani, my daughter, very talented musically as well. Unfortunately, about 4 years ago, my husband passed away, and that was quite a blow. Because I at that time was a complacent housewife and was doing off and on a lot of little things in terms of support in the community. I had worked in 3 schools in fundraising and also as a volunteer librarian in the primary school that the children were in. Also got involved in some politics, spent 2 years working with one of the political parties in the education committee. Also very much involved in getting involved in a lot of courses, business courses, was in Vancouver in a research program in entrepreneurship. Came first, enjoyed myself thoroughly, came back home and got involved in supplements about 13 years ago while being a housewife. But when Tony passed away 4 years ago, I really had to sort of decide on a direction for my life. And fortunately got involved in a company 2 years ago where we now are involved in spreading a business franchise through e-commerce. All health, all nutrition, because when Tony passed away, I was a mess. I was 44 pounds overweight. And one of the challenges was to kind of deal with that. And thank God for one of my friends in the gym, personal trainer, who I sort of embraced and said, help me here, please. And it was through his sort of dedication and mine that I was able to shed 44 pounds. I now spin about 4 days a week, sometimes 3, sometimes 5, depending on my schedule, and I do weights, because I think one of the tenets to good health is exercise. Exercise helps with depression, exercise helps with your strength, your muscle development, and also your health, your overall health. So right now, I'm very interested in connecting with people who are like-minded, people who want to basically be involved in a business, home-based, so that you have the flexibility to travel, be with your kids, see the world, which is what I'm doing. I've been to Asia 4 times, as well as working with people, because I love doing that, motivating people through my own experience, my own sort of story, but also working with people in terms of helping them succeed. Because in the last 13 years, I've connected with people, and I have not only impacted people in terms of their own health, because one of the things I love doing is talking on radio, talking on TV, talking about the tenets of health. And I'm not a fanatic by any means, because I've seen people who are into very vigorous sort of programs in health. I'm not like that. I'm just about enjoying life, but at the same time being cognizant of the fact that to be healthy today, you need to nourish your body with the right nutrients. And as you can see, I'm drinking my favorite drink here, which is wheatgrass juice loaded with honey, because I need the extra energy, particularly when I spin. And at 52, I outspin most of the people in my class. I'm in the front row, and there are lots of kids half my age that I outspin. And I think a lot of that has to do with the supplements I take, but also because of the fact that I really enjoy the gym. So it's wonderful chatting with you. Please feel free to call on me if you want to connect. Thank you.